It's finally happening. Local jobs that went to low-wage countries in Asia and Central America are now coming back to Southern California, creating new opportunities here. And this, some people facing the toughest and tightest job market in years are fighting back. They're reinventing themselves, finding new careers and hope for the future. Also, the rising number of homeless people now living in the suburbs have no access to a bathroom. This mobile shower or rolling bathroom gives them a chance to get clean once a week. Okay, let's start with some good news. Thousands of Southern California jobs that went to low-wage countries the past 10 years have now returned here for lots of reasons. The garment factories of Los Angeles are beginning to hum again. They're coming back to life after years of losing thousands of these jobs to low-wage countries in Asia and Central America. 5 years ago, Karen Kane, the apparel manufacturer in Vernon, made half of its high-fashion clothing overseas. This year, more than 90% of its production of clothing will be done in Southern California. But why did Karen Kane come home? Moving its production out of Asia and back to LA? One word: quality.
Overseas, we saw that the quality of goods was declining when we were getting them in. You know, you'd open up a box, things would not be as you ordered them. Colors would be wrong, fabrics would be off, the details. Something would be off with the details. And then transportation costs increased as well. To ship goods over here costs a lot more than it used to.
Michael Kane's family-owned women's clothing business is on the front lines of the move by many apparel companies here to repatriate, bring back manufacturing jobs from Asia to Southern California. This is happening despite the big disparity in wages that still exists between Los Angeles and Asian countries. For example, in 2005, the hourly wage in China averaged about 83 cents an hour. By 2009, China's average wages increased to about $1.74 an hour, still well below the minimum wage in America. Michael Kane remembers a turning point in the business came during a Christmas season several years ago when sweaters made in China didn't arrive in time for the holiday shopping season.
What happened was we ordered sweaters overseas to sell to our accounts here in the United States. There was issues with quality which delayed the production. With transportation costs and the lead time involved, they actually didn't end up arriving until the holidays were almost over. So we really had lost our window to sell them and ended up getting almost all the goods canceled on.
Do you want faster turnaround, and are you getting that in LA?
That's a major part of why we also shifted production back here. The lead time is so much greater with producing things internationally that when you're able to make them here domestically and locally in Los Angeles, you're able to control what you're making and also react much quicker to what's selling.
The hourly wage of a Chinese worker is still a lot lower than people in this factory. Does it make sense?
That's true, but the economics have shifted so much that the difference is not that great anymore, as much as it used to be at least. It's actually become more economic for us to make things here than it is in China or anywhere else really overseas.
Why not go to Central America, Mexico? You can get lower wage people there to do this kind of work.
We've explored options and have worked in other places in Central America in the past, but the goods and the quality that you get there are not as good as they were in China. China was really just the top of the game, and then as time has gone on, it's steadily decreased there.
Speaking of Central America, the Blue River Denim Company in Los Angeles is also part of the wave of clothing manufacturers who have moved back to LA, in this case from Mexico. Blue River produces high-end designer jeans for women that sell for upwards of $200 a pair. The good news for Los Angeles, this company has been hiring here for the past year, even though the Mexican city of Torreon has been offering the jeans company 3 months free rent, discounts on utilities, land use concessions, and lower wages than American workers earn. But company president Antonio Rodriguez says producing jeans in LA makes business sense even though costs are higher here.
Mexico is cheaper, but will never be duplicating the same look that we can achieve here in LA.
In addition, making high fashion jeans is complicated. There are different washes and patterns. A laser is used to burn elaborate designs into the jeans. This kind of innovation is available in Los Angeles, but not in many Central American factories. And when a jean style suddenly gets hot in retail stores, companies need to react quickly. It's quicker in the jeans business to produce in LA?
A lot quicker. You can produce garments within 2-3 weeks. When you go to Mexico, you need an average between 8 to 10 weeks.
Special gift boxes try to create an aura about American-made jeans. Signs on stores remind consumers of the social and economic benefits of buying American products.
As we produce in the United States, it's not just the job of the manufacturers, not just the job of the retail stores. It's also the consumer that needs to come back and say, you know what, I'm willing to spend a little bit more for a product.
What do consumers say?
I'm a young woman and I spend a lot of time shopping for clothes, and I have to tell you, we just go for what's the best price at a style that I think is something that I want. So I tend to not go immediately towards made in the USA.
When you see something that says made in America, does that cause you to buy it?
Oh, that would be a big motivator. Absolutely. As long as there's not a huge price difference. But if there's a huge price difference, then unfortunately I'm on a budget, so I go for the lower price. I don't want to. I feel guilty about it, but I do.
Still at Macy's in Century City, Karen Kane believes their tags telling shoppers that apparel is made in the USA are paying off.
Customers absolutely love it. Sometimes we do have customers come in asking for products specifically made in the US. And other times when they see the little hang tag that we do on every garment, they absolutely can't believe that they can find product that's made here in Los Angeles.
So price versus buy in America, what's your thinking?
Yeah, it's absolutely price. Although there are some really great brands that are making really wonderfully priced items that are made in the USA. So American Apparel is made right here in Los Angeles, and I buy their clothes. I think it's a great thing. But if it's between a shirt, American Apparel shirt that's $20 and a shirt from J. Crew that's made in China that's $15, I'm probably going to buy the shirt that's $15. Aren't you? I mean, aren't you?
Every month when the unemployment figures come out, we're told that thousands of people have given up looking for work because the job market is so tight and tough. Well, this is a story about people who haven't given up. They're trying to reinvent themselves. Trade tech has suddenly become a hotspot for people who want to change their lives. This community college offering vocational education in fields like construction, restaurant work, auto mechanics, and more is attracting a record number of people who are looking for new ways to earn a living and make money. Many here lost their jobs during the sharp economic downturn, and lots of those jobs are not coming back. So at a time when some people are dropping out of the labor force, giving up because jobs are hard to find, these people are fighting to get back into the workforce. Min-hee Chow was an animator at Warner Brothers and DreamWorks. Now she's learning to become a construction worker. Why take construction?
Because I love using my hands, and as an animator, I used to sit behind desk like 10 hours a day, and I found that I actually love being able to work with my hands and learning how to use power tools. And I used to have a brother, and my brother got to do fun stuff, and actually now I get to do the fun stuff and learn how to use equipment.
You think you might want to look for a job in this field?
Actually, yes.
Working with Min-hee, Susan V was a stay-at-home mom for 20 years, raising 3 children in the suburbs. Now she also wants to work construction. From stay-at-home mom to construction worker, that's quite a transition.
Well, it's something I've always been interested in. I just haven't had the time to pursue it before.
And now what do you think?
Oh, I love it. It's great. It's a lot of fun.
Making a big change in your life, how does that feel? Liberating or is it scary?
That's a little scary. It's a little difficult to come back to school after several decades of not being in school, but it is liberating and it's nice to meet people from different environments and different backgrounds.
Over in the next classroom, Stephen Robbins is working on cars and diesel engines. Robbins spent 5 years in prison on a robbery conviction. Now he's on the dean's list, getting top grades and a scholarship, hoping to become a master mechanic. Are you hoping to get a job in this field?
Oh yes, I am going to get a job. The diesel field is very broad and it's very in demand, so I'm going to get a job in the diesel field, yes.
Quite a switch from prison, huh?
Oh, way switch. I love the diesel program. I love, freedom and being able to make an honest living. That's the best thing of all.
Downstairs in the restaurant class, former prosecutor in the city attorney's office, Larry Webster, is developing cooking skills. What about this field appeals to you?
The creativity, the camaraderie, the exploring different cultures through food.
Everyone here understands that this school does not promise there will be jobs waiting after the 2-year program. But former Marine Sergeant Donnis Stone, who served in Afghanistan, is hoping the pickup in construction activity will provide a job for him.
When I was deployed to Afghanistan, 2011, 2012, we did a lot of construction work with the Afghanis, building up the facilities, and particularly Bagram Air Base, helping a lot of the civilians that lived on the perimeter of the base. It gave me a taste for it, and I like it, and I'm running with it. And I can see myself doing this for the next 20 or 30 years.
Expansion of the Metro line is also expected to offer job opportunities.
The Crenshaw Metro line that's going through down the Crenshaw corridor is looking for about 3,000 workers from the local community. So we're hoping to provide a large number of those students because we have a large fraction of our students come from the Crenshaw area.
Students in this construction class are taught to build miniature houses. They will eventually construct a real house in Los Angeles. These people are hoping the rebound in the housing market continues.
These are first-line workers that are going to be going directly into construction trades, first into residential and then into commercial. Now that the money started flowing again, that the loans have started coming for construction, these folks have lots of work. And there's lots of work waiting.
And we can cut it.
Wait a minute. How about this for a new career? Learning how to slice up and prepare a huge shoulder of veal. Executive Chef Steve Kasmer is breaking in a class of people who want to work in restaurants.
This morning we were working with a veal shoulder, and what we're going to make is a classic French recipe called veal blanquette or blanquette de veau. So we want to introduce the student to where the cuts of meat are on the animal and then the proper way to cook it.
And are there positions in restaurants around town for these students?
There's positions everywhere. Restaurants come to me. We do everything from making bread, biscuits, and croissants all the way up to making fine dining French cuisine.
Some of these students are budding entrepreneurs looking to start their own business.
I wanted to market a salsa from home, and I realized that I had to learn a few things about safety and sanitation.
I may go in with a friend in a restaurant.
I'm hoping to start off with a job in the construction field, but then start my own construction firm.
The 2-year program here costs about $2,000. The college makes an attempt to forecast where future job openings will occur, but that's always difficult.
We have advisory councils from industry come in and tell us where are the jobs going to be next year, 10 years from now, 25 years from now, so that these students then are training for jobs that are going to be in the future and will not be training for things that have gone away.
In a real sense, these people are trying to reinvent themselves, find work, and rediscover the joy of a job well done.
It's a great feeling when you can go ahead and, at the end of the day, see what you've accomplished, and this makes you feel good.
It's against the law in many cities here to actually live in your car. Still, Many homeless families in the suburbs have no choice because they've lost their homes. Now, this may look like just some white truck pulling into a church parking lot in Chatsworth, but actually it's a mobile shower truck, sort of a bathroom on wheels, driving around town, serving people who have no regular access to a bathroom. Every Monday, the shower truck comes to Chatsworth, and within minutes, homeless people begin lining up for their shower. When was the last time you had a shower?
A week ago.
I don't have anywhere to live or take a shower right now, so they're really helping me out a lot.
And when was the last time you had a shower?
It was 8 days ago. I just take a sponge bath.
The number of homeless families with children in suburban communities like Chatsworth has increased the past year. These three people, Anna, a hairdresser, her husband Brian, a cook, and mother Nellie, lost their home when they lost their jobs.
Right now, we're just looking to find a room to rent so I can find a job so I have somewhere to sleep and rest, and because you can't find a job if you're looking all, dirty and stuff,
The mobile shower unit has been serving homeless people in the San Fernando Valley for about 3 years. The people who use this service have hit rock bottom. Many lost their jobs and homes when the economy got softer. Thousands were laid off. This homeless man was a teacher. Now he's sleeping outdoors. Where are you spending the nights?
I have a place over behind the old Hostess. It's a print shop, and they have like a driveway there. So they let me sleep there. That way I'm out of the weather, and I put my stuff in the corner.
Pretty cold these nights, sleeping in a driveway.
I think this is like the record last night for sure. Because I've never seen it that cold ever. I've seen it 28 degrees once here in Chatsworth, but not as cold as last night.
The Shower on Wheels operates 6 days a week in valley communities where there's a shortage of housing for the homeless. The San Fernando Valley Rescue Mission provides clean, used clothing and toilet articles.
People don't realize that homelessness is an issue for so many people. It's not just the person with an addiction. It's families now. It's children, and it's really, really tough for people to realize it could be them. So a lot of times people just want to turn away and not think of it because it is really a devastating situation. Homelessness in LA County has become pretty much an epidemic, and family homelessness is on the rise.
The clothing comes from the mission's facility on Satakoy Street. Donations of used clothes are cleaned, sorted, and dispersed to people who need them. And the mission depends on cash donations from people who have resources.
What we're seeing is families, people that you wouldn't even think would ever experience homelessness or experiencing homelessness.
Where are these people spending the night?
I'll tell you, last week we had a mom and dad walk in pushing a stroller with a 2-year-old in it, saying, "Will you please help us? We spent the night under the bridge last night by the freeway."
On Tuesdays, the mobile shower unit travels to North Hollywood, which has a large homeless population.
I know for a fact there's probably within 2 blocks of this area, there's probably 300 people that are homeless.
Where are they spending the night?
Wherever they can, doorways, in the park, wherever they can find it. Some people just walk around all night.
Actually, many of the homeless people in the suburbs say they don't want to go to downtown LA, where there are overnight indoor shelters that provide food and showers.
I don't like it down there.
Why
really? Why not? It's not the type of people to hang out. It's like the forces of evil seem to be everywhere down there. Like you don't even have to look for it.
The latest census claims 46 million people are below the poverty line in America. Back in Chatsworth, after showering, Brian helps his wife Anna put on a clean pair of socks after her shower, while Nellie feels washed and clean again.
I feel much better. I feel like a new person. Now I just have to find a place to live.
the only bank with headquarters in East LA is making loans to help people become citizens, even though many of these people have no credit history. Isn't that how banks got into trouble? In East Los Angeles, citizenship is still a front burner issue for residents who have green cards, legal immigrants. Many of these people want to become American citizens, but they can't afford the nearly $1,000 that it costs in government fees and paperwork to file a naturalization application. Now, Pan American Bank is making citizenship loans to green card holders, even though some of these borrowers have no credit history or even a bank account. Isn't that how banks got into trouble?
There are about 8 million individuals in the U.S. today that are eligible for naturalization or citizenship. And these 8 million folks have really gone ignored by financial service providers. And so what we want to do, being in East LA and being a community that's almost 100% Latino, and many of those folks are immigrant and many with green cards, we wanted to be able to develop a program that would allow them to become naturalized citizens and then participate actively in the civic process.
Josue Garcia, a 25-year-old software technician, is one of the several hundred green card holders who is borrowing money from Pan American Bank in order to pay for his citizenship application. Born in El Salvador, Garcia came to America when he was 2 years old.
I lived here 23 years.
Why are you now applying for citizenship?
I think it's very important to pretty much have my vote counted, and part of the American dream I need to be a citizen.
What do you think about this opportunity here to get a loan to become a citizen?
I think it helps some of the middle class persons that sometimes we don't have enough money or extra money to really pay for these fees. The fees aren't that much, they're about $500 to $600, $700, but it's sometimes that we just don't have those extra dollars in our pockets.
But many of these people have no credit history, they don't even have a bank account, and you're lending them money?
Absolutely. So if you look at studies that have been conducted for this particular segment, you find that these folks view debt very differently than the typical American does. These are viewed as moral obligations by these individuals. So they come from their home country. When they borrow money, they're going to pay that back. And they may struggle to pay it back at times. They may lose a job, but they're going to find a way to do you right as an institution or as an individual. So they will find ways to pay that money back. So when we deal with these folks, yes, they may not have the college degrees. They may not have the high-paying jobs, but they have something better from our perspective. They have the willingness to pay you back and to honor an obligation, and that's all we want.
With its colorful murals, Pan American is the smallest bank in LA County. It's the only bank with headquarters in East LA. When the foreclosure crisis hit, Pan American behaved differently than many other banks.
We could not just kick people out of their homes. One, it just wasn't the right thing to do. Secondly, the reputational harm to this institution would be so severe. So we needed to find solutions, and we did find them. There were costly solutions, there were painful solutions. We're still working our way out of that, but we did what we needed to do. And so what we did is we sat down with these folks and said, let's figure out what we can do to keep you in your home, to keep you in your car, to keep your business going, so that you can weather the storm and we can continue to survive as well. The last 6 years have been horrible times for bankers, but I gotta say the last 6 years for me personally have probably been the most rewarding because I can feel good about what I do for a living.
Pan American Bank was founded by Romana Banuelos, an entrepreneur and mother of three who made a fortune by turning a small tortilla business into a huge Mexican food company. In 1972, President Nixon named her U.S. Treasurer, the first Latina to serve in that post. She founded the bank in 1963.
She was so visionary. She knew 50 years ago that this segment, that East Los Angeles, was going to be a community that was going to be burgeoning. At the time, we were transitioning from a largely Jewish community to a largely Latino community. And she had the vision. She knew that there was going to be significant growth in this community and a need for a bank to serve the needs of that community, knowing that it was going to be largely immigrant, because that's what she was. And so that was 50 years ago, and we're still here.
Growing up in East LA, Jesse Torres used to ride his bike around the bank parking lot. After UCLA, he worked for the Treasury Department as a bank examiner before being recruited for this bank presidency. Torres believes he's on a mission serving the bakeries, butcher shops, car washes, and immigrants on the east side.
If we fail at what we are here to do, there is no one that will come in and pick up the slack. If this bank ceased to exist, I can assure you that there would be no bank serving this community in the way that we do it. We're the only one here. We've been here for 50 years. Why hasn't another bank come in to the east side to set up shop? It's because no one wants to do it, because they think that these people are not worth serving. Sure, we have plenty of check cashers, we have plenty of payday lenders, but we don't have financial institutions setting up shop here saying, you know what, I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to invest in this community. I'm going to create jobs here. I'm going to create careers here. I'm going to do everything that it takes to boost up this side of the city. No one has done that. They've done it everywhere else, but here. Why is that? So if we were to fail, if we did not succeed, I assure you that there would not be another bank coming into this town to pick up where we left off. And so failure is not an option for us. We must succeed.
That's it for this edition of the Drive-By Economist. I'm Doug Kriegel. See you next time.